Yeshlo ochlim harbe. Ochlim merubim. Person has a large family, so he needs a lot of meat, right? So what does he do? Noch unechosim muatim. He doesn't have that many assets to be able to afford to purchase. Maybe shlom merubim. So he brings multiple shlomim. Some shlomim you eat, so the meat will be available. Va'olos muatos. And he brings less ola. Nechosim merubim. If he has large assets. Va'ochlim muatim. He has less people. Maybe olos merubos. Shlom muatim. He brings more olos, less shlomim. Now it's interesting. Factually, every person we discussed yesterday has an obligation to bring an olas riyah and a chagigah. Everybody. So when we speak about it here, it's ochlim merubim. These ochlim, many people, are they adults or are they minors? What? Are they minors or are they adults? Right? We had earlier that Rabbi Yochanan holds that you're only permitted to bring one olas riyah. If you visit multiple times the other days, you bring it, you're in violation of Baltosif. Rish Lakish says, no, you could bring. Whenever you come, you don't have to, but you're permitted to bring. Right? That was an argument. So here we're talking about a person who has many people but less assets, he brings more shlomim. What kind of shlom? We're not talking about chagir. This is speak shalmi simcha, that he should be able to provide meat. So shlom is never. Olos muatim. So why is he bringing less olos? Because of what? No. Less. But you only have the obligation to bring one ola. Right. So you're not permitted to bring more than one ola. Right. So we're going to see in the Gemara something interesting. Let's say the first day you come, you want to bring multiple olos. On the first day, even Rabbi Yochanan agrees. Mm-hmm. The question is, the second day, and even that's not so clear in the Gemara. Let's say you wanted to bring, and there wasn't enough time in the first day to bring all that you want to bring the first day, then the halacha is you can bring on the second day, even according to Rabbi Yochanan, what you couldn't bring on the first day. No, even one person. You can bring as many as you want. You're bringing it because you're coming to the sanctuary. That's why you bring it. The only time you're in violation of Al-Tosif is only if your intention was not to bring it on the first day. You want to bring it on the second day. Here we're speaking about he obligated himself initially to bring it on the first day. He wasn't able to bring all of them the first day. Even Rabbi Yochanan agrees you can bring it on the second day. Because when he's bringing the second day, it's not because he's visiting the second day. It's because he wasn't able to bring what he obligated to bring the first day. He wasn't able to bring the first day. The second day is the makeup for what he couldn't do on the first day. We'll see the Gemara. The Gemara makes that distinction. Per person, per adult. Every adult, male adult. Every male adult has to bring a chagigah and has to bring an olas riyah, burnt offering. Every male adult. Bar mitzvah and up. No. Each one has to bring his own. Shalmi simcha, that's a shlomim, just purely to have meat available. That you could join. You could even somebody else's. They didn't even have to be your own. Right? Because the mitzvah is to eat sacrificial meat. That's it. So, okay. What about, the Mishnah discusses, Nechosim rubim v'ochlin muatim. He has, right? So we said he brings more olos, brings less shlomim. Zev muat, he has less people and less money. Azenema more kesef, ushtei kesef. It says that's the minimum. Right? The ola is a more, and the chagigas too. Zev merubim, he has many people, he has a lot of money. So he could cover every base. Well, right? On that, Alzen Emar, Ish Kamatnas Yodo, Kivichas Hashem Elokech Shen Nosaloch. There, Kodesh will give you a brocha, you're able to afford it, you bring abundant shlomim and you bring abundant olos. Shlomim merubim. So it says that if a person has that much assets, what does he do? He brings more shlomim, but less olah. But we're talking about the man doesn't have anything. How does he afford it? So Moraes, Shlom merubim mehecha ma'isi. Less like he's he has nechosim muatin. He has very little possessions. So where is he going to get it from, right? Omer Rav Chizda tofel umevi par godol. He goes. We'll see. We had an argument on Aleph. What does it mean tofel? Is it you intermingle money, chulin money, and because we said davar shebachova, anything of an obligation, the money has to be cannot be consecrated money, right? We said it on Aleph. So as a result of that, let's say he has ochlim merubim. He has many people, but in terms of his own money, he has very little. So what does he do? He takes a little bit of his own money, and he has an enormous amount of meiser money, masasheni money. So he adds from that. So since the animal is comprised of chulin and that, it's not a problem. Because the money that was used, part of the money, a percentage, is what? Is chulin. So it's not a problem. So that's tofel. What does he do? Tofu maybe pargodel. He goes and intermingles the money. He buys a large bull. Omar le Rav Sheshes. So Rav Sheshes says to Rav Chisda, Rei Omar tofu behema lebehema. We said earlier, this is Amar Aleph. Remember that if you have that, you bring one animal, you bring a smaller animal, you buy it from your own money, and the other animals you buy from the other money. You bring Nadarim, Nadavas, whatever it may be. So he says, my Omar. What exactly Rav Sheshes saying? What is Rav Sheshes saying? What is he saying to Rav Sheshes saying to Rav Chisda? We said that you take one animal and you associate with another animal. You don't buy one large animal. Avalo lamos, but you don't take money and intermingle with other money, which is what Rav Chisda is saying. Right? Rav Chisda says you purchase a large bull. So Rav Sheshes is saying, no, you add an animal, but the animal itself, which is the Chagigah, should be only from most chulin, money which is your own money. So he should answer, Ein tov lamos lamos. She should say, you can't, right? What is he saying? Tov lamos. You should say to him, Ein tov lamos lamos. You can't intermingle money. Let him be explicit. Elohi kamalei. This is what Rav Sheshes is saying to Rav Chisda. Harei omru af tov lamo. Meaning, we had before Machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Chizkiah, what does it mean toflin? Does it mean intermingling money? Or does it mean bringing one korban, which is all chulin, and adding another korban? He's saying, Rav Chisda says, you don't have to only do this. You have an option. You want to intermingle money, you can intermingle money. You want to take two animals, you can take two animals. First animal, which is chulin, second animal, which is not chulin. Come on, if so, what's Rav Sheshes saying? Lo Chizkiah, look Rabbi Yochanan. Because Rabbi Yochanan and Rav Chisda, each of them, they argued. When it says you have to have money chulin, does it mean say part of the purchase has to be chulin, but it's one animal? Or does it mean one animal has to be totally chulin, and the second one you could add? Maybe you want to say this is machlok samoroyim, that's Rabbi Yochanan and Chizkiah. Mas nice lo pligi, but the Brisa is not arguing. For the Brisa, we see what Rav Sheshes is quoting. You have an option. You want to intermingle money, you can intermingle money. You want to take two animals, you take two animals. It says the first achila is chulin. So it says in the Brisa, if the first achila is chulin, what does that mean? It means to see the animal is totally chulin. So that means you have one animal which is all chulin, and then the second animal you're adding is kodshim, what was purchased for money that had kedusha. So he says, no, my achila rishona. What does it mean? The first achila is chulin, shir de me achila rishona shulin. Meaning that it doesn't mean to say the whole meal has to be chulin. It means as long as a percentage of the money, let's say you can eat a portion, and a certain percentage of your meal is of chulin, that's all you need. Even though the majority that you're eating may be kodshim, doesn't make a difference. Okay? So it doesn't mean achilu rishona. What? Okay. Omar Ula, Omar Ishlokish. Ula says name Ishlokish. Hifrish esa behemus l'chagigoso. He sets aside 10 animals for the chagigo. Hear this. Chagiga, this is not the Ulas Riyah. Chagiga, you bring as many chagigas as you want. Right? Hikriv chomesh. B'yom Tov Rishon. He sacrificed, he brought 5 on the first day. Chosem Akriv, Chomesh, B'yom Tov Sheni. On Chol HaMoed, he brings the other 5. He obligated brings 10, and he brings 5 on the first day Yom Tov, second day and second day Yom Tov. Rav Yochanan Omar, Kevin Sheposak, Shuvena Makriv. Once he brought the first 5 here, and he didn't bring them on, say he can't bring the second 5. We'll see in a moment. You can only bring Chagiga only on the first day. We'll see in a moment. Rasha, it's going to be a question of Baltosif. As we said before, the Olas Riyah, the Torah says you bring only when you come to visit the sanctuary, you bring your Ola. No, Chagiga is consumed. That's a Shlomim. But it's eaten by the person. No. He consecrated as a Chagiga. As an obligatory of Shalmi Simcha, I have no obligation. Shalmi Simcha is like you consecrate a Shlomim. Here I consecrated for the sake of the Yom Tif, to fulfill my obligation of Chagiga. Torah says you only bring one, you're not bring more than one. So here, Rabbi Yochanan is saying, if you brought it on the first day, it's not a problem. Because the Chagiga is brought on the first day. But he says, therefore, you can't bring it, if you didn't bring it on the first day, you cannot bring it on the second day. That's what Rabbi Yochanan is saying. Since there was an interruption of the first and the second, you can't bring the second 5 on the second day. Shavena Makriv. Omer Rababo. So Rababo says like this, lo pligi. They're not arguing. Here, Rabbi Shlosh says you obligate yourself for 10. You can bring 5 on day 1, 5 on day 2. Rabbi Yochanan says no, you cannot. So he says there's no machlokes. How could there not be machlokes? One says A, one says big. So he explains it. Kam bistan, kam b'meforish. Yeah. Hai stam hechid. What does it mean stam? I mean, one, he was very specific. The other way, he spoke generally speaking. Ilemed leka shows biyom li korev. Does it mean to say, let's say the first day he said, I will bring 10, and there wasn't enough time on the first day to bring it. That's what happened. Hai loka revinu. And what does it mean? Why didn't he sacrifice it? The leka shows biyom. The leka shows, mishum, the leka shows biyom. There wasn't enough time. Yeah? Elo, the lesle ochlin. There weren't enough people to eat it. So if you would have brought it the first day, what would have happened? It would be no, sir. It would be left over, right? Haid lakravinu, the lesle ochlin. So, okay, so again, it's not a problem. We're trying to understand what exactly is stam. If he wanted to bring it all on the first day and there wasn't enough time, there's no reason why he shouldn't bring it on the second day. And if there weren't enough people to eat it, also, he couldn't, so he brought on the second day. Right? There is time to bring it, and there are people to eat it. And he didn't bring it. Shmami no, shiure shairinu. So I'm not sure exactly what this means. There was enough time to bring it, and there were people to what? But factually, they didn't sacrifice it. So what is it? Shmami no shairinu. So what is that an indication? Shari Shirinu, 1 second. Rega. There's a Rashi on this. Shoyibedatu lochok shnei yomim. Right. So he wanted to celebrate 2 days. There's no such thing as celebrate. If you want to celebrate the first day and you're not able to, so the second day is just, you're paying off the obligation of the first day. So it's fine. Torah says the first day you bring your chagigah. You want to bring 10 chagigas, you bring 10 chagigas. As many as you want. Factually, there weren't enough quantum to handle, to do whatever you had to do. So why bring on the second day? Because you couldn't bring. One person says, I want to celebrate the Chagigah the first and second day. There's no such thing. So the second day is not a makeup. It's not you're compensating for what you want to do on the first day. That's already, it's Baltosif. That you're not able to do. Okay? You're giving the second day, right. Ravin says, he quotes Rabbi Yochanan, he set aside 10 animals for the Chagigah. Hikr chomish b'yom rishon. Choser makriv chomish yom sheni. Kashna adodi. So we have a steer, we have a contradiction. Here Rabbi Yochanan says that if you obligate to bring 5, 10, you can't bring the additional 5 on the second day. And here he says you can. So Rav says, Ella lav shmam. So how do we reconcile the two statements of Rabbi Yochanan? Kam bistan, kam b'meforish, as Shmamino, as he said. If actually it could have been brought and there were enough people to eat it, he didn't, what does that mean? That means he wanted to bring the second 5 on the second day. That you can do. But if he didn't have enough people to eat it. Thursday, so the only reason why it wasn't brought on the first day, because it couldn't be brought on the first day, so the second day is a makeup for the first day. And that Rabbi Yochanan says fine. So that's how we reconcile both statements of Rabbi Yochanan. You know, it's interesting. Rabbi Yochanan says one thing, Rish Lok says something else. Right? So they're arguing. He says, no, they're not arguing. How does he know? Because Rabbi Yochanan himself made 2 statements, which are contradictory. And the only way you can reconcile it is by saying exactly what he said, what Ravina said. As the Gemara made the differentiation. Rababo. Okay. Manami. Omer Rav Shama Barabo, Omer Rav Yochanan. Rav Yochanan, Lo Shana, Lo Shlo Gomar. When do we say you could bring it on the second day? Right? When you cannot Shlo Gomar. Right? Meaning you could have, you didn't finish off the day. You chose not to finish it. Avo Gomar. But if my Gomar, but a Gomar, Chozma, my Gomar, Ilem Gomar Kober Nosov, doesn't mean Gomar, he sacrificed all the Korbanos. My Makram, there's nothing to sacrifice. Elo Shel Gomer Hayom. Avo Gomer Hayom, meaning the day there was time to bring it, and he didn't bring it. So what's that an indication of? Why did he leave over the second 5? Because he never intended to bring him the first day. That means you wanted to celebrate 2 days Chagigah. There's no such thing as celebrate 2 days Chagigah. Avol Gomar Hayom. But the day was up, so why did he bring the additional 5? Because there wasn't enough time. Chozeh Makriv. Then you could bring the additional 5 on the second day. Because why you bring it on the second day? Because you couldn't bring them on the first day. So it's a makeup. I'm covering my obligation of the first day. That's called Tashlumin. Okay? We're going to see in the Gemara now, that if you don't bring the Chagigah the first day, bring it the second day. And yet you can bring it till the end of Yom Tov. There's going to be discussed every day that I bring it later. It's really a makeup for the first day. When is my chiyuv? When's my obligation? The first day. If you're not able to read, Torah says throughout Yom Tov, you're able to make up what you should have done on the first day. It's similar over here. The Chagigah you bring, when do you bring Chagigah the first day? So I obligate myself for 10. And I'm only able to bring 5. Why didn't I bring the additional 5? Not because I couldn't. If it's not because you couldn't, then you can't bring. That means, so why did you leave out the additional 5? Because you want to celebrate the second, that you can't do. But if you want to bring all of them and they weren't able to accommodate you, so why am I bringing it? Because I obligated myself on the first day. So it's no different than not bringing what you, the first day you bring on the subsequent days. That's the rationale. No, then you have to be mat a netter. You made a netter. I mean, you said you're going to bring 10. So if actually you said you intend to bring 5 on the second day, then it's not binding because you're doing something wrong. Torah says you're not permitted to bring on the second day, where you want to celebrate an additional day. Okay, Mishnah. Misha lo chog b'yom rishon, b'yom tov rishon. Chalka. Person to bring the Chagigah on the first day, chogig es kol haregel, right? Every subsequent day, you can bring the Chagigah. You bring the first Chagigah, second Chagigah, second day Chagigah. What about Shmini Atzeres? Right? Shmini Atzeres is not called Sukkot. So could you fulfill your obligation of Chagigah, of Sukkot on Shmini Atzeres? So Mishnah says, Yom Tavachim Mishal Chag. You could bring the Chagigah of Sukkot on Shmini Atzeres, because Shmini Atzeres is linked to Sukkot. Over a regel, what about if the regel was over totally? You pay Shmini Atzeres, V'lo chog, didn't bring the Chagigah, Eino Chay Bachruso. There's no book to bring it. There's the concept of Zmano Botol Karbano. Once the time passes, it expires. You can't. Right? Al Zen Nemar. This is what Shlomo says in Mishlei. Mu'uvis lo yuchal liskon, v'chisron lo yochal limonos. Shlomo says there's an iniquity which cannot be corrected, and a loss which cannot be computed. Yeah. You want to? Reb Shimon al Menashe Omer. So what's the case of Muvis lo yuchal liskon, where you miss the opportunity to bring the Chagigah? It's lost forever. You cannot make that up. That's Muvis lo yuchal liskon. Reb Shimon Menashe Omer. Ezo Muvis lo yuchal liskon. What is iniquity which cannot be corrected? Zabola erva v'odi ben mamzer. Person who has an incestuous or adult relationship, and he has an illegitimate child from that woman. So Rashi says, because once you have the child, there's a fruit of sin. So there's a representation of that sin. Therefore, you're stuck with it for life. That will always come to haunt you. The child, that illegitimate child, will always haunt you. So therefore, that's something. If a person, chas v'sholom, had this kind of relationship, there was no child conceived, you do tshuva, right? Whatever the tshuva is, tshuva, yisurim, yom kippur, you can be atoned. But if you have a child, there's no atonement for that, because that child represents the sin. Rashi says, Shehevi psulim b'Yisrael v'yei zichron aleph, yei zichron lavono. There's always a representation of vichoch ein avos nosav nimchokin b'tshuva. Therefore, tshuva is not sufficient to eradicate that sin. That's Rashi. Tosas learns differently. He says it's a question of shame. He says the tvei boshto nikr shamamzid nira laolam shaveres rotzech v'gazna ein edov ufonov. I don't know what it means. It's just. I mean, if the disgrace is always there, that's part of the to be disgraced. Okay. Further, let's see further Mishnah. I had a difficulty saying that if you miss the korban through Yom Tov and you didn't bring by the end, you can't never up. That's a loss that can be affected, okay? What about a person who was supposed to study Torah on Sunday, chose not to study? Monday, you can't make up for that. Why? Because Monday is a separate obligation. So why is that any different? Why are we picking the case of missing the Korban throughout Yom Tif? Right? Let's talk about something simple, something which has relevance every day of the year. You don't study Sunday, it's gone forever. That can never be corrected. Because Monday you have a new obligation to study. Right? I don't know. Anybody speak about it in the footnote there? Because we'll see, Rav Shimon ben Menashe says, Ezo muv shen yochol liskon, al tomer begoni v'gozel. Maybe it was somebody stole, even in the QT or openly. Yochol la'achziro v'yisakin. Person could make amends. He returns the gzela, does tshuva. It's corrected. What's muvis? Move is something that's been corrupted. Muvis means it's an iniquity. You corrupted something that was perfect. Betchila v'nisavi here, which was in a correct setting, and it was corrupted. Vezes a Talmud Chacham a portion of the Torah. A Talmud Chacham who leaves the Torah. Okay. Good.
So really, what happens with the sin, as you say, if you steal somebody, if someone steals something, the mitzvah there is to return it and do tshuva.
So that you're able. It's a full correction.
But with the effect, with the offering, it's a process that only...
No, it's a lav nitik lasei. Nitik lasei. They have to correct the lav.
Right.
Why don't you get malchus if you steal? He did an action. Lav shish b'maiser. You get malchus. Right? Whenever you do an act and you violate a lav, you're supposed to get malchus. Because there's an assay, you could correct it.
Right.
What's the assay? Return the stolen item.
Exactly.
So good. So that means it's correctable.
Yes.
These things which are not correctable.
Correct. Exactly. So that's the difference. The program is only activated on those 2 days.
Once it's gone forever. Okay. But I'm asking a very basic question. What are we talking about? Chagigah. Let's talk about Limud Torah. You were supposed to learn on Sunday. You didn't learn Sunday. It's gone forever. You can never correct that. Because Monday, there's no chiyuv to learn on Monday. Right. So why is that different than the korban? Avazmano batul korbono. Finished. No. Shimicho is saying the connotation of uvis means you're corrupting something that was perfect. So I'm dealing with an entity. So my question is not a question. Rav Shimicho is not a question the way I'm asking. He's talking about, so that's limud. I mean, you didn't learn. No. But Rav Shimon, that's not what Shlomo. That's not what the Pasuk Mishlei is talking about. I mean, according to the ones that they apply to the Chagigah that wasn't brought, right? That if you miss Yom Tif, you can never make up that Chagigah. So I'm saying, what do we have to talk about? You talk about it. Speak about Talmud Torah. You didn't study on Sunday. You can never make it up.
What if you said, I'm going to study Tractate Chagigah in the month of October, and you miss one day, but you finish in October?
No, that's not a problem. I'm talking about the mitzvah of Limud Torah. No, you have an obligation to study every day. Also, well, there is a man named says Kriyashma. The Gemara says that is Kriyashma. Avaz Manu also, that's similar to Chagigah. That's similar to Chagigah. Okay, maybe because you're able to say he said it was Kriyashma. Okay. Menani Mili. Okay? How do we know that you can make up that there's such a thing as tashlumim by Chagigah? Hani Mili. Rashi says, Menani Mili, the Yom Tov Achron Shel Chag Hasugas Tashlum the Korbanos HaChag Liyichidim. That the Yom Tov Achron Shel Chag, that Shmini Atzeres, how do we know Shmini Atzeres you're able to make up the korban that you should have brought on Sukkot for individuals? Okay, Menani Mili. Omre B'Yochanan B'Shmuel Nema Atzeres B'Shvi Shel Pesach. It says Atzeres by the 7th day of Pesach. Nema Atzeres B'Shmini Shel Chag. The 7th day of Pesach is part of Pesach. There's no question. Pesach is 7th day Yom Tov. Sukkot is the 7th day Yom Tov. Shmini Atzeres is attached. So do we see it as part or do we see it as separate? So we find Atzeres in regard to Pesach. And just as on Pesach, the seventh day, if you didn't bring it on the first day, you're able to bring the Chagigah on the seventh day. Afkan l'tashlumim. So what is to write atzeres? That it's still connected to the Yom Tiv. Okay? 1 second. Let's see Rashi. Atzeres shiv shel Pesach, parshas kol abchor, sheish yom teichel matzes, ubiyom hashvit atzeres, mal shiv shel Pesach tashlumim l'rishay eno cholok milefonov. Right, it's part of the Yom Tov. It's not seen. Shmini Atzeres Cholok Mishlefonov Li'in Pazik Hashav. The Gemara says in Sukkah, there's certain things that we say Shachayanu, right? We say there's a different payus, different things over there. Okay, now that's Gzer Shava. It's Gzer Shava. It's Gzer Shava. Atzeres. Right? Even though there's a svar to be mechalik, but if you have Gzer Shava, now we speak about Gzer Shava Mufneh. Gzer Shava means it's not just two words. The two words are totally superfluous. Torah didn't have to write the word. Mufna means it's extra. If it's not Mufna and you have Gzer Shava, if you can differentiate, we differentiate. But if it was written specifically, extra words specific to that, even though you could differentiate, say this is black, this is white, doesn't make a difference. Torah says we equate A to B and that's it. That's the end of the discussion. Okay? So the Gemara says, and this Gzer Shava is Mufna. It's Mufna. Why? Because if the words are not truly extra, superfluous, you could ask, because you could differentiate. By this Atzeres that's written by Pesach, the seventh day is part of Yom Tiv. It's part of Pesach. Right? It's a separate Yom Tiv. Many things, you know, sit in the Sukkah. You say Shechayanu. Many things it's separate. Smar says, lie, it's correct. Rashi says, lie, bemes, afnui mufne. Factually, it is mufne. Meaning it's extra. Since the word is extra, therefore it's written specifically, even though you can be mechalik, you can differentiate, it's irrelevant that you're able to be mechalik. Michdi, my atzeres. What is the word atzeres? Latzor. What does latzor mean? To refrain. Right? That's the meaning of latzor. To hold back. My atzeres, atzor basis malocha, right? The first day Yom Tov, you're not permitted to do malocha. The last day you're not permitted. Cholamoid, you're permitted to do malacha, right? So when it says Yom HaShvi is Atzeres, means that the seventh day is what you have to observe the Hilchos Yom Tiv. Only Ochel Nefesh is permitted, right? Similar to the first day. My Atzeres Asis Malacha. Someone asks, Hoksiv Lo Sasko Malacha. It already says Lo Sasko Malacha. So if it says you're not permitted to do malacha, what does that say Atzeres? So the word Atzeres is superfluous. Right, it's miyuter. Atzeres kosev rachman olomali. So what did to write atzeres if it erases lo sasko malocha? Right? Ela lafshmamin, ela shmamin, o lafnuye. Here, the answer is it wrote the word atzeres to be the extra word to compare A to B. Atzeres by Pesach, atzeres by Shmini Atzeres. What applies to one applies to the other. So just as the seventh day of Pesach, if you didn't bring the Chagigah on the first day of Pesach, you could bring it even on the seventh. Similarly, regarding Shmini Atzeres, if you didn't bring the Chagigah on Sukkot, you're able to bring the Chagigah on Shmini Atzeres. Okay? So it's Gzer Shava. So good. That's what the Gemara says. That's Rabbi Yochanan, Mishum Rabbi Shmuel. V'tana Ma'isilim Hocha. But there's another Tana learns it from a different location. The Tanya says, V'chagos osa Chag L'Hashem Shivas Yomim. You celebrate the Chag Shivas Yomim, 7 days. Yochel Yechogig V'odei Choshiva. Maybe every day you have a chiyuv to bring a Chagigah, right? 7 days. Tamulo also. Osa atochogeg v'atochogeg kol shiva. No, the Chagigah is only 1 day. You only have an obligation in 1 day Chagigah. Im keiloma nema shiva. So what does it say? 7? Right? It says Chag Shivas Yomim. So what's the Shivas Yomim? So evidently, Shivas Yomim l'tashlumim. Not that you have a chiyuv to, I believe, bring every day another Chagigah, but rather, if you didn't bring the Chagigah the first day, you can bring it all the subsequent days, for 7 days. And how do we know on Shmini Atzeres? Says Pesach, you say, well, if you didn't do the first, you do all the others, right? Because it says, Chag Shivas Yomim, David, yeah. It says in the 7th month, Tochogu also. Chogig v'holech hachodesh kol, but you bring a Chagigah during the whole month of Tishrei, right? It says, u'bachodesh hashvi tochogu also. In the 7th month, you should do the Chagigah. What's the 7th month? Tishrei. So what's the Torah saying? You should bring a Chagigah throughout Tishrei. Every day at Tishrei, you should bring a Chagigah. Meaning only when do you bring Chagigah? During the month of Tishrei. Doesn't mean the whole month. Only during the month of Tishrei, not any other time. Umay, and what does that mean? Tashlumim. That means if you want to make up, which means this is the svar of what? Of Zman Batul Karbono. When could you bring the Chagigah? Only during the time it's meant to be brought. But which is when? Only during the 7th month. Any other time you cannot bring it. Rabbi Yochanan Amar. Now we have an interesting machlokas. We discussed the case earlier. We have a person who's lame on the first day Yom Tov, cannot walk, and then he heals on the 2nd day. He has no chiyuv aliyas haregel. Why? So the Gemara said because the subsequent days is a makeup. The chiyuv to visit the Azora with the Ola is what? Is only the first day. The subsequent days are only makeup for the first day. So if the first day you were absolved because you couldn't walk, it says regel. Right? It says shalish regolim. So the Gemara learned from regolim. If a person's a chiger, you can't walk, so you're exempt. So now all of a sudden you heal on the 2nd day, the 3rd day. So do I have an obligation? You have no obligation because the obligation is only the first day. If you're able and you don't, then you make it up on the 2nd and 3rd day. But if the first day you weren't even obligated, there's no makeup, correct? Give an example. Chas v'shalom, person's an onei. And person dies before during the nighttime. The burial only first took place after mincha. Right? So the person has dav mincha. Does he have the chiyuv, the dav shachris? Tashlumim. There's no tashlumim. Because he was an onei, he was exempt from davning shachris. So there's no makeup. So if the Torah says you're only obligated to visit the Azor if you're able to walk. If a person's lame, he can't walk. If you hold the subsequent days are only a makeup for the obligation he had on the first day, so here he wasn't obligated on the first day. So he has no chiyuv aliyas haregel, the subsequent days. But that's if you hold it's tashlum and rishon, that the subsequent days are a makeup for the first day. But it may not. That's Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, you could. Right. Well, according to Rabbi Yochanan, you can't. According to Rabbi Yochanan, you'll be in violation of Baltosif. Violation of it's like coming the subsequent days and bring according to Rabbi Yochanan, you want to bring a Chagigah on the subsequent days. You want to visit, fine. To bring a Chagigah, you can't bring, or an Ola. You want to bring an Ola. You bring an Ola the first day on of the Yom Tif. Now you want to bring a second one on Chol Hamoed. Rabbi Yochanan says you can't. Rish Lakish says it's your prerogative. Torah says it's up to you. Rabbi Yochanan says you're in violation of Baltosif. No. We told me we did bring it. No, but it's, again, when are you in violation of Baltos? If you have no obligation and you create a new thing, you're not supposed to. Torah says once you bring it. So over here, if he's exempt, he's exempt. Okay? What? Right? He has no obligation. Raboshi Omar Tashlum Zeluzeh. You hear this? Raboshi says no. Each day is a makeup for the other day. What does that mean? My beinayu. So what's the difference between Rabbi Yochanan there? It's a makeup for the first day, or each day covers for the other day. He was lame on the first day, then he healed on the 2nd day. Rabbi Yochanan says that the subsequent days a makeup for the first day, right? Since he had no obligation on the first day, there's nothing to make up, right? Although he wasn't obligated, he wasn't fit to walk on the first day, but he has to make up the 2nd day. The lashon of tashlumim, it's a little difficult. It's a makeup. Each day is a makeup for the other. It's not a makeup. Each day is it's an obligation. So Rashi says, tashlum zelazeh ein lecho yom b'hem she'en chovoso tluya bo ba'atzmo. Tashlum zelazeh doesn't mean each day is a makeup. Each day has its own independent obligation. Torah says you're obligated to bring Chagigah, and every day you bring it. It rolls over. You don't bring it first, you have an obligation. Not the 2nd day is a makeup for the first day. I'll give you an example. a person has an obligation of pruruvu, procreation, right? When are you? So what's the mitzvah of pruruvu? When have you fulfilled obligation? If you have a son and a daughter, right? If you have a son and a daughter, now until you have those children, the boy and the girl, every time the person cohabits, he fulfills the mitzvah of pruruvu. The mitzvah is to do an act that could bring about a child. Having the child, you've fulfilled the obligation. So every time a person engages, he's fulfilling his obligation of doing an act of pruruvu, of procreation. When you have the child, it's the same thing. Every day Yom Tif. First day Yom Tif, you have to bring a Chagigah or an Ola. You don't. Bring it on the second day. Not because I'm making up it's covered the first day. Because until you bring it, you haven't fulfilled your obligation. And you have 7 days that you're able to fulfill your obligation. That's Torah saying. So each day is an independent obligation, but it's only once during the 7-day period. So whichever you pick your day. Of course, there's a reason Magdim in the mitzvahs. You should bring it as soon as possible. But if you don't do the first, you do it on the second. Okay. Further. So we're saying that's the machlokes of Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Oshia. So the Gemara asks, 1 second. So Gemara asks, there you go. Right. So Gemara asks, the Rabbi Yochanan say that what is a makeup for the first day. Let's say a person became Tomei on the first day Yom Tif. So you can't go to the Azora. Or you can't. The person touched the Sheretz. What do you have to do? You have to wait the Erev Shemin. Right? Eino Mevi. Yeah. Chizkiah says a person became during the daytime. Nitma Bayom. If you can't contaminate it during the daytime, you bring Balayla Eino Mevi. But if you came already contaminated at night, right? He doesn't bring. He brings it. How's the papa? Why? That means at the day of Yom Tif, he came in contact with a sheretz. It never started, right? He was never able to bring it the first day. He was Tomei during the daytime. So before he became Tomei, he had a chiv to bring it. The time when he could bring it, there was never a moment he could bring it. Yet he says he's still bringing it on the second day. So it's a contradiction. Rabbi Yochanan, we just finished saying, if a person's lame on the first day, he doesn't bring it on the second day. But here he says, even if it was contaminated pre-dawn, on the first day, Monday, the second day Yom Tov, he could bring it. He has to bring it. But there's no makeup. It's only if you're able to come. You're not able to come because you're Tomei. Yeah, the Torah says something interesting. If a person is able to bring Pesach Rishon, you bring Pesach Sheni. See, what do you mean? But you're absolved. Why should I have to bring it the second Pesach? I'm absolved. I wasn't able to. So you see, when it comes to Tumah, when we deal with a contaminated state, it's not like you have an obligation. You have an obligation. Except you have an impediment. If we bring it, I mean, what's the concept? There's there's a Tosas Shabbos. The halacha is regarding mefarik. Mefarik means extracting liquid from a solid, from a food item, right? If you have, let's say, food, you have something, you squeeze juice onto food, right? So you're not in violation of mefarik. Why? Because it's called ochel elo ochel, right? The lemon is ochel, and the juice, of course, goes directly onto food. It doesn't accumulate as juice, so it's not called a mashke, okay? So the Gemara says in Shabbos, if you want to milk an animal onto a piece of bread, right? In the pail where you're milking the goat, it's on a pas. You're not in a violation of what? Of mefarik. Because why? Because the milk is liquid, even though it's coming from the animal. But because it's going on the food item, it's not. So there is a question, what kind of animal are we talking about? If it's an animal that's meant for slaughtering, right? Or is it an animal that's meant for milking? So he asks over there, because there it's mina ochel ala ochel. So he says, but Shabbos, it says, if you cholev behema b'Shabbos, you're milking it on Shabbos. Shabbos, it's not an ochel, because you can't slaughter. So why is it mina ochel ala ochel? It's not ochel. So Tosa says, we're going to have a new version of Tosa. It's going to be called Howard's version. Okay? Okay? Obama will study it in the White House. And I guarantee you it's not called studying Torah. Okay. So Tosa's answer is it's Arya Reviolei. Meaning the animal is food. Except there's like a lion not allowing you to approach the animal. Torah doesn't allow you to slaughter. Shechita is not permitted on Shabbos. But it's food, except there's an impediment that you're not able to slaughter it. But it's the same thing over here. The person himself has an obligation. He has an obligation. The Torah says there's an impediment. You can't go to the Azorah because you're Tomei. But how do I know that? Maybe you're absolved. Similar to the person who's lame. Right? So the answer is because we see there is a makeup by Pesach Sheni. Just as you see Pesach Rishon, if you contaminate, Torah allows you. So that means, in truth, you're obligated the first Pesach. You're obligated. Because you see, there's a makeup. Because if you're absolved the first, why is there makeup the second? So we see Tumah is not an absolvement, but it's an impediment. So therefore, Rabbi Yochanan holds that even though the person already was contaminated pre-dawn, you still could bring the Chagigah on the second day of Yom Tov. We know that because I see Pesach Sheni. That's what Rabbi Yochanan says. Phenomenal insight. Phenomenal. Okay. Masculine. Because there's a machlokes. No, it doesn't make a difference. In our case, came in contact with the sherets, with the rodent. Doesn't make. But we see tumah. We see from Pesach tumah is not an absolvement, but rather it's an impediment. How do I see by tumah? If it's a koshkem, if the contamination of the dead you see is only an impediment, it's not an absolvement. So when you come counter with the sherets, definitely it's only an impediment. It's not an absolvement.
Does that impediment mean that he can, whenever he is, or he can bring it as long as it's within the 7 days, or does it have to be the next day?
No. Look, any time during the 7 days, you have all the subsequent days to make it up. The key we're focusing on now: are you obligated? Were you obligated? Were you not obligated? So we see from Pesach Sheni you were obligated, and you are obligated. Right here, there is a makeup because this is not an absolvement, but rather it's an impediment. No, just mitzvah b'liotchet. Of course, you should do it as soon as quickly, but you have through till the end of Yom Tov to make it up, to bring the Chagigah or the old. Okay. So Maskil or a puppet, which is machlokes himself. Honich l'madiyom Pesach Sheni tashlum the Rishon. You only have a raya from Pesach Sheni because this is a separate machlokas. Pesach Sheni is an argument. Is it a makeup for the first, or no? The Torah says if you don't. You have an obligation to bring Pesach. If you don't bring it the first, you bring it on the second, but it's a new obligation. Similar to, we said, Pru Revu. You have every year you must bring a Pesach. You have a choice. The first or the second. But if you have to bring it the first. You don't, then you have an obligation on the second. So Rabbi Yochanan's proof would only be proof if Pesach Sheni is Tashlumim. If it's a makeup. But if Pesach Sheni is a separate obligation, there's no proof. There's no proof from Pesach Sheni. Elamad Yom Sheni regel b'fnei atzmu Michael Meimar. How's Rabbi Yochanan respond? Elam Rav Papa Ksav Rabbi Yochanan Lailo Eino Mechus Zman Gevaldik. Yeah. At nighttime. When does Yom Tov begin? It begins at nighttime. I'll give you an example. If a person, there's a halacha Torah says Shmonis Yom Tiyeh Tachas Imo. You cannot bring a korban before it's 8 days old. If a person is magdish, consecrates an animal before it's 8 days old, it's an Issa. Because you consecrate it, Mechus Zman, it's not old enough. You cannot consecrate it, Norman. It's like you can't go to medical school, right? Unless minimally you could read. Okay. You cannot bring a korban unless it's minimally 8 days old. Right? It says, Ubeyom Hashmini b'holi yirotze. It says from the 8th day on yirotze, it's called to bring a korban. Could you bring a korban at nighttime? Cannot able to bring a korban at nighttime. So what about if a person's magdish a korban the 8th night? The night. It's not during if you magdish it on the 8th day, when it's 8 days old during daytime, okay. At this moment, you can bring it as a korban. Because kochim can only be brought during the daytime. What about if he's magdish it at nighttime, the 8th night? So you magdish at time, you're not able to bring it's still too early. Are you in violation of being magdish and mechus's man? So the Gemara brings 2 psukim and says, no, you're not. Why? Because it's in the 8th day. Laila's la mechus's man. The nighttime, you're ready, you're there. So the same thing over here. Although you're not able to bring the Chagigah at nighttime, he became contaminated pre-dawn. But it was after Yom Tov began. So since he already entered into Yom Tov as an obligation, because it's the first day Yom Tov, but you can't bring the Chagigah, it doesn't make a difference. But Laila is not mechus, nighttime that I can bring it on, that's irrelevant. The first day, my obligation is upon me. Now, for whatever reason, I become contaminated, I bring it on the 2nd day. You're following? That's Laila lav mechus's man. It's gewaldig. This is real coaching. No. You think... אתה חושב צריכים לשבת בירושלים ללמוד קודשים, יכולים ללמוד כאן קודשים. עד יום השני, מייקל למיימר, אלו, אבל הפובק סובר רבי יוחנן לילה אין המחוס הזמן. זאת אומרת, ומי אומר רבי יוחנן? ואומר רבי יוחנן, רוע אחס בלילה 2 ביום, maybe 2. We'll continue.